Upon arriving at the accident scene, we observed that most of the victims had already been removed from the two collided vehicles. However, one, apparently motionless, was trapped inside his vehicle and needed the jaws of life of the National Fire Service to get him out. Fortunately, this was only a test for emergency medical technicians of the Belize Emergency Response Team and other emergency responders to review their response capacity for what are referred to as mass casualties.
So we have a lot of footage today, both from the media, and we were also taking footage. So what we will do, we will go back to the office and we will study the information that we have. We will look at our weaknesses to be able to continue to develop and strengthen EMS.
So for the number of people who were injured in the accident, you had the required amount of response personnel?
Yes, we did, and this highlights the need for an organization like B.E.R.T, because we do have the resources, we do have the equipment, we do have the manpower to respond to an RTA like this. This is what is considered a mass casualty because it puts a strain on our resources. But although it puts a strain on our resources, we were able to respond.
In the scenario imagined by the planners of the exercise, according to B.E.R.T's Chief of Training, Javier Canol, a driver distracted by his cell phone caused a massive collision which forced the first responders to request backup. But Canol pronounced himself reasonably satisfied with the time it took to get the patients out and stabilized for the trip to the KHMH nearby, as well as other aspects of the operation.
From the moment we get the call, and up to the point where the ambulance react, when the first two medics get on scene, they realize that, oh, this is bigger than we can handle. They then called for additional help, and so more ambulance came, and then the ball started to get into play and more in progress. And as an EMT, our job is to make sure that we can do everything that is possible to save life, to get them alive to the hospital, and we must do everything that we can do within our scope of practice to make sure they get the hospital alive. And that's what the general concept is of an EMT for a road traffic accident. And so for a mass casualty, normally, yes, 20 minutes from the time the patient was cut, the last patient was removed alive, and he had to be cut out and taken out. Normally, as a general rule, we say that there's a 10 minutes golden rule that we have to play with this patient in order to get them out of the accident. And so the 20 minutes for us was a go. The 30 minutes additional for taking out the patient, well, that has nothing to do with us. It's just the police and the fire department to get them out. But for us, 20 minutes for 8 patients, I think that was very good.
So you are satisfied with the technician's performance out here today, the B.E.R.T response in the simulation?
Generally, yes. There are some little glitches. I'm sure that things that we can iron out. But all in all, yes, we're happy with their performance. Everybody know what they were supposed to have done. Minor little glitches that we could work out. I'm sure that we could work it out. But yes, I am happy with their performance.
That will not preclude a closer look during the debriefing process later. But while B.E.R.T and the fire service were in the middle of the action, police from Precinct 3 and the City Council Traffic Department kept order, blocking off the main entrances and exits from St. Thomas Street all the way around to right in front of Channel 5's offices on Coney Drive. City Councillor in charge of emergency management, Philip Willoughby, gave them their kudos.
I believe the traffic department was the first agency out here coordinating and dealing with the flow of traffic. Shortly after, I believe the police came on the scene, followed by B.E.R.T and then the fire department. I was briefed by the fire chief that they were dealing with a fire, so you could imagine when they deal with an anomaly, and then there's a primary, their first being the first responder, so that primary event then shift over to becoming a secondary event, and this becoming the primary focus of the department. So I think they juggle it quite well within the time frame, and it's always about the response. I think that is what agencies are heavily criticized on, the time and the response and the manner in which they respond, the confidence and poise that they execute their duties. We are getting there.
That kind of multi-agency approach is what Canole says the exercise is all about.
It's a multiple agency simulation where everybody takes part and everybody come together and work as a team. It's not about, if you notice the police came, stopped traffic. We couldn't do that on our own. Then the traffic warden came along and assisted the police. Then the medics got there, started assessing the patient, make sure they got what they need to keep them alive. Then the fire department, when the guy was trapped, we couldn't take them out. So the fire department came in and just did what they had to do until we can get them out. So everybody had an active role to play. And that's what's make it interesting. This is how we should work all the time.
Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.